Back on Sportsbook, time for a big game breakdown. As always, SBR odds and Sportsbook review. Check out the rating guide. Make sure you're betting with the trustworthy shop. Game 2, Celtics and the Wizards. Boston at home again, 5.5, 218.5 the total. Game 1 closed 4.5, 216.5. Celtics won 123 to 111. Adjusted series price, Boston minus 325. First 350 of the game, 16-0 Wizards. The closing 44 minutes, 123 to 95 Boston. Celtics got whatever they wanted. Shots weren't falling early. Opened 0 of 8 from the floor, then went 46 of 82 the rest of the way. Even with that poor start, they scored 128.7 points per 100 possessions. Let's put that in perspective, the 128.7. Best offense, Golden State, 113.2. Worst defense, LA, 111. Boston had 32 assists on 90 total shots taken. IT had 33 and 9. Horford, 21 and 10. And Isaiah also coming back from his sister's funeral. Coast-to-coast travel twice in less than a week. Playing on adrenaline. We'll see if he crashes at some point. But it didn't matter Sunday. I don't know if it's going to matter the rest of the series because we talked about the Wizards 27th in defense post-All-Star break. They can't guard anybody.
Well, I mean, for most of the game, look at the picture. It looked like the Wizards had their backs turned on defense. And we talked about a couple things. That third quarter, where Boston outscored Washington 36-16 and took control of the game. The Wizards were whistled for one foul in that quarter. When you give up 36 points and get whistled for one foul, that's not physical defense. And everyone was raining threes for the Celtics. Look, when you finish with 128.7 points per 100 in a game, the best for the season is 113.2 for Golden State. The worst defense is the Lakers with 110.6. And you're 15, 18 points up for that. It tells you, number one, Washington played defense. It also tells you, number two, it was one of those games where everything was falling for Boston. That doesn't necessarily mean it happens twice in a row. Because, going into the game, the Wizards score 111. They're supposed to win. They're certainly supposed to cover having that type of offensive performance. But it didn't matter on a day where everything the Celtics put up, I mean, literally everything seemed to be dropping. But the same issues for the Wizards that we talked about a lot during the regular season, Pauly. They were very much on display in the first round against Atlanta, and they were very much on display when it came to Game 1 at Boston.
Yep, and I know we've talked about the bench. I know Crowder won't continue to shoot like that from three, but again, the Celtics got terrific looks the entire game. And a big problem this year was the bench forced too many minutes on the starters. Look at this graphic. Minutes played. Wall was 5th, Beal 18th, Porter 25th, Gortat 30th. The Wizards were the only team to have 4 players in the top 30. And you can see why when you look at the first 3 guys off the bench. Look at this. Game 1, Oubre minus 22 in 25 minutes. Jennings minus 6 in 12 minutes. Bogdanovich minus 15 in 18 minutes. Against Atlanta, Oubre was minus 62. When he was on the floor, they were outscored by 62 friggin' points in 98 minutes. Jennings minus 25 and Bogdanovich minus 10. You see the minutes there as well. And I don't know what you're going to get out of Morris after he left Game 1. He says he's going to play tonight, but that's something to monitor too. Maybe he can re-aggravate that injury.
Yeah, sure. And Bogdanovich, remember, he was minus 10 for that series in Atlanta only because, or in large part because, he was draining everything. There was a couple games where he was a huge offensive juggernaut coming off the bench for the Wizards, and he still finished with a minus for the series in that one. But that minus 62 for Oubre, that's scary, scary numbers for Scott Brooks moving forward. Now, there are issues for Washington for injury. You saw Gortat coming up limping the other day. He ended up finishing the game, didn't look that serious, but it's one of those lingering, nagging injuries from a guy that they absolutely need. Then you have the issue with Markieff Morris. He's not going to be 100%, and he's been struggling throughout the playoffs, but there really is nothing behind him. The Wiz miss. They miss, Ian and me, they more than I think the markets appreciate.
I thought he's been cleared. Why didn't he play?
I can't answer that question. He has not been on the floor yet, but he's a guy, again, he's not a big name. He's 10 or 15 minutes. They can get at the center spot or the 4 spot. And, of course, Jason Smith is less than 100%. He's limited because of a strained calf. So you look at Scotty Brooks, quote, Morris had treatments all day yesterday. These are yesterday's quotes, by the way. He had treatments all day yesterday and last night, the same thing this morning. Just see how he feels game to game. I don't want to make any call on anything right now. I just know he's going to get treatments all day today. I'm sure he's going to do the same thing tomorrow. Then here's what Morris said, quote, I'm playing tomorrow. It's final. There's nothing the doctors can say to me for me to not be able to play. Playing is one thing. Being an effective contributor is another. For Washington to hang tough in this game, they're going to need Markieff Morris to have an impact on the floor.
And the best NBA bettor in the world, I thought Haralabas Vulgaris had a good tweet. And it makes sense. The Wizards need to push the ball off misses with John Wall. Other than Westbrook, nobody can go coast to coast in 3 seconds. That would be a key. That's a big weapon they have. We'll see if Brooks can use it. You agree?
No question. I mean, Washington, the problem that the Wizards have, though, is that the Celtics are pretty good at playing at a fast pace, too. And again, it wasn't like Washington had pace issues in game one. There wasn't a half-court game. And it wasn't like they didn't hit shots. They just couldn't get stops. And that may be a problem continuing moving forward.
Hey, guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.